Welcome, coin collectors! Today, we're uncovering the top 3 rarest and most valuable Roosevelt dimes. And trust me, the auction prices will shock you. You might just have one of these hidden treasures in your collection or pocket change. But remember, not every old coin is rare. We're here to show you the expert tips on what to look for when hunting for valuable coins. Stick around, because you'll learn exactly how to spot these rare dimes. Let's get started. Number 1. Hey there, coin collectors and enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a coin that has captured the attention of collectors for years, the 1965 Roosevelt dime. This coin may look like just another dime to most people, but don't be fooled. It's one of the rarest and most valuable dimes in circulation today. By the end of this video, you'll not only know what makes this coin so special, but you'll also discover just how much it's worth in today's market. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Let's start by setting the stage with a little history. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away the year before. Designed by the famed artist John R. Sinek, this coin quickly became a symbol of Roosevelt's leadership and the country's gratitude for his efforts during World War II. But we're not here to talk about just any Roosevelt dime. Today, we're focusing on the 1965 version. Now, most people know that dimes, like all coins, have a set composition. Up until 1964, U.S. dimes were made of 90% silver. But in 1965, the U.S. Mint made a significant change. In response to the rising cost of silver, the government decided to remove silver from most of its coins, including the dime. Instead of using silver, the dimes were made with a copper-nickel composition. This change was supposed to be across the board, but, as is often the case with large-scale operations, things didn't go as planned. Here's where the magic happens. During the 1965 minting process, a small batch of dimes was struck using leftover 90% silver planchets. The same kind of silver planchets that were used for dimes before 1965. These silver planchets slipped through the cracks of the Mint's new system, and a handful of these dimes made it into circulation, unbeknownst to anyone. These accidental silver dimes are what collectors dream of today. So, how do you spot a 1965 silver Roosevelt dime? Well, it's not immediately obvious just by looking at it. But the key is in the edge. When you take a closer look, you'll notice that a silver 1965 dime has a distinct silver edge, while the regular copper-nickel dimes from 1965 have a coppery edge. If you have a 1965 dime and it shines brightly with a silver gleam, chances are you're holding a rare and valuable treasure. Now, you might be wondering, why is this such a big deal? Well, the answer lies in rarity. Out of all the dimes minted in 1965, only a small fraction were struck with the silver planchets. In fact, it's believed that only a few hundred of these silver dimes exist today. That's why they're so valuable, because they're a rare mistake from the U.S. Mint, and for collectors, that makes them incredibly sought after. But let's talk numbers. How much are these coins worth? The value of a 1965 silver Roosevelt dime can vary based on its condition. If you find one in good condition, you could expect it to sell for around $2,800. But wait, there's more. The highest quality examples, those in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, have sold for as much as $62,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. A dime that was once in circulation and could have easily been spent on a cup of coffee now commands a price that could buy you a brand new car, or even a house, depending on the condition. But how do you go about selling one of these rare dimes? Well, it's not as simple as throwing it up on eBay. If you happen to find one of these elusive silver dimes, it's a good idea to get it appraised by a professional. Coins like these can be tricky to authenticate, and you'll want to make sure you're getting the best price possible when you decide to sell. Auctions, especially those that specialize in rare coins, are often the best place to fetch top dollar for a coin like this, and it's not just individual collectors who are interested in these coins. Dealers and investors are always on the lookout for rare and valuable pieces to add to their portfolios. That's why, if you have a 1965 silver Roosevelt dime, you're holding a potential gold mine. The demand for these coins is only increasing as more collectors realize how rare and valuable they are. So, let's recap. The 1965 Roosevelt dime is a rare, highly valuable coin thanks to a minting error that resulted in a small batch of silver dimes being produced when they weren't supposed to be. This mistake has turned these coins into prized collectibles, with prices ranging from $2,800 to as much as $62,000, depending on the coin's condition. If you have one of these dimes in your collection, or if you come across one in your pocket change, make sure to check it closely, because you could be holding on to something worth a fortune. And that wraps up today's video on the 1965 Roosevelt dime. If you enjoyed learning about this rare coin and want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you've ever found a rare coin like this or have any interesting coin stories to share, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy collecting! Number 2. Hey there, coin collectors and history buffs. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most famous and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1894 Barber dime. If you're a fan of rare coins, you've probably heard about this elusive treasure, but just how rare is it, and why does it command such sky-high prices at auction? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the 1894 Barber dime is often considered the Holy Grail of dimes. And trust me, you won't believe the prices this coin has sold for, so stay tuned until the end. Let's set the stage with a little history. The Barber dime was designed by Charles E. Barber, the chief engraver at the U.S. Mint, and it was introduced in 1892. The coin circulated until 1916 and featured Lady Liberty on the obverse and a wreath with "1 dime" on the reverse. But today, we're focusing on one specific year, the 1894. Why? Because this particular dime has a story that has intrigued collectors for generations. So, why is the 1894 Barber dime so famous? Well, it comes down to its rarity. Out of all the Barber dimes produced, only 24 of the 1894 dimes were ever minted, and today, only 9 of those 24 coins are still known to exist. That's right, only 9 surviving examples. It's an extremely rare coin, and that's exactly what makes it so valuable. But here's the mystery that surrounds this coin. There's still some debate about how and why only 24 of these dimes were struck. Some people believe they were specially created for high-profile individuals, possibly as presentation pieces. Others speculate that they were struck by mistake, perhaps as test pieces at the U.S. Mint. Whatever the true reason, the fact remains that this limited production makes the 1894 Barber dime one of the rarest U.S. coins ever minted. So, how can you tell if you've found one of these elusive coins? The first thing to look for is the S mint mark, located just below the wreath on the reverse side. That S tells you it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. But here's the catch. Because of how rare and valuable this coin is, there are some counterfeits out there, so always have any potential find authenticated by a professional. It's crucial to ensure you're getting the real deal. But let's get to the really exciting part. How much is this rare dime actually worth? Well, let me tell you, this coin can fetch an incredible amount of money at auction. In fact, in 2016, a well-preserved example of the 1894 Barber dime sold for an astonishing $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.9 million for a single dime. That's the kind of money collectors are willing to pay for this extraordinary piece of history. But wait, there's more. In a more recent auction, another 1894 Barber dime was sold for $2.7 million, setting a new record for this rare coin. Imagine owning a coin that was worth just 10 cents in circulation, but is now worth millions. It's hard to wrap your head around, but that's the reality of the 1894 Barber dime. So, what makes these dimes worth so much? It's not just the rarity, although that plays a huge role. The story behind this coin, the mystery, the limited number produced, and the fact that only a few survive, adds to its incredible value. Collectors are always looking for pieces with history, and the 1894 Barber dime is the perfect example of how a mistake or a rare circumstance can turn a simple coin into a highly coveted treasure. If you ever come across one of these coins, you're holding something truly special. But as I said earlier, because of their rarity and value, there are some counterfeits circulating, so always get it authenticated by a professional to ensure you're sitting on a true piece of U.S. history. Let's recap. The 1894 Barber dime is one of the rarest U.S. coins ever produced. Only 24 were ever minted, and just 9 of those survive today. Because of this extreme rarity and the coin's mysterious backstory, the 1894 Barber dime has become one of the most sought-after coins among collectors. And the price? Well, depending on the condition, this coin can fetch anywhere from $1.9 million to $2.7 million at auction. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you learned something new about the 1894 Barber dime, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos on rare coins. If you've ever found a rare coin or want to share your coin stories, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, happy collecting! Number 3. Hey coin collectors and history lovers! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into an intriguing and often overlooked coin from the 20th century, the 1967 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, you might think it's just another dime, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick around until the end because you'll be amazed at just how much this relatively common coin can be worth. Let's start with the basics. The Roosevelt dime was first issued in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death, as he was the founder of the March of Dimes, a charity dedicated to polio research. Designed by John R. Sinek, the coin features Roosevelt's profile on the obverse, with a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. It's a simple yet powerful design that has become iconic in U.S. coinage, but today, we're focusing on the 1967 Roosevelt dime, a coin that, for many, is just a regular dime. However, for a small group of collectors, the 1967 version holds something special, and it's all thanks to a rare mistake made during its minting. In 1965, the U.S. Mint transitioned to using copper-nickel for its dimes, replacing the traditional 90% silver content. However, in 1967, a small batch of dimes was accidentally struck using the old silver planchets, making them 90% silver rather than the usual copper-nickel. This error makes the 1967 silver Roosevelt dime one of the most sought-after rarities among collectors. Why is this important? Well, just like with other rare coins, it's the mintage error that drives up the value. Imagine finding a 1967 dime that looks like it should be copper-nickel, but when you check the edge, you see that shiny silver. That's your cue that you might be holding something rare, a 1967 silver Roosevelt dime, which could be worth a small fortune. Now, how do you know if you've got one of these rare silver 1967 dimes? The first thing to check is the edge of the coin. Unlike regular copper-nickel dimes, the 1967 silver dimes will have a bright, silver-colored edge. If you find one with a shiny silver edge, it's likely that you've found a coin with significant value. If you're still unsure, the best way to authenticate it is to have it graded by a professional coin grading service. This can confirm whether you have a genuine silver 1967 dime. So, why does this particular dime matter? Well, rarity plays a huge part in its value. Only a small number of these silver 1967 dimes were ever struck. And because they were accidentally made with silver, they carry a premium over regular dimes from the same year. For collectors who specialize in mint errors, these 1967 silver dimes are a true treasure. But now, you're probably wondering, how much is this coin actually worth? Well, get ready for this. Depending on the condition, a 1967 silver Roosevelt dime can fetch anywhere from $2,700 to as much as $60,000 at auction. That's right, up to $60,000 for a single dime. The value depends on the coin's condition. The better the condition, the more it can sell for. Coins that are well preserved, with clear details and little to no wear, tend to bring in the highest prices. If you think you've found one, don't just hold onto it, get it graded to confirm its value. So, whether you stumble across one of these in your collection or find it in a box of change, a 1967 silver Roosevelt dime could be a true windfall. Imagine holding a coin that was worth just 10 cents in 1967 but today can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's the magic of rare mint errors. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this video helped you discover why the 1967 silver Roosevelt dime is such a valuable piece of U.S. coinage history. If you found this video interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. And if you have any stories about rare dimes or coins, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, happy collecting!